Well, good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Welcome to our lovely new studio here at the News UK mothership in London Bridge. We've left Ealing in West London. No tears, no flowers. And we're here, where it all happens. So, what have I missed? I've been in Los Angeles trying to lie under palm trees with Stormy Daniels. What I missed was this. The age of entitlement was a period of history when the world's biggest brains began to reject superstition for logic and reason. We've now reached the age of entitlement, in which the world's biggest brains defy logic and behave very unreasonably. Take my children at a prestigious girls' school, part of the Independent Girls' Day School Trust, who staged a placard-waving protest against a teacher who said, "Good afternoon, girls." That teacher was then forced to issue a grovelling apology, according to an interview she gave to the Mail on Sunday at the weekend, apparently under threat of disciplinary action, because the girls, who remember are attending a girls' school, objected to being called girls. Well, I guess some of them may want to become boys, in which case they should maybe be at a boys' school. They felt entitled to undermine the authority of the teachers in the school to pursue their own social causes. And take this plus-sized influencer.
No one should have to endure the discomfort, embarrassment, and discrimination that often comes with being a plus-size passenger trying to navigate air travel. By signing this petition, you can help us demand that airlines take concrete steps to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers. Whether you're plus-size or not, everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect when they fly. Let's work together to make sure that the travel industry serves everyone, not just a select few.
Well, Jaylene Cheney made global headlines this weekend after claiming fat people are entitled to extra seats on planes because they're so fat. She said all plus-sized passengers should be provided with an extra free seat or even 2 or 3 seats depending on their size to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort during the flight. Well, look, Jaylene, you can have your extra seat, you can have 10 extra seats, but you've got to pay for them. Why should you be entitled to special treatment, raising the cost of travel for everybody else because you're obese? Maximum self-entitlement, zero self-accountability.
So you've invited me to speak here, and I'm being heckled nonstop, and I'm just asking for an administrator to sign.
That's an administrator. Your racism is showing. Wait, respect black women. If you want a multiplicity of ideas, you have gotten what you wanted, take it.
Those are students at Stanford University, one of the top universities in the world, where students are so high on the fumes of their own self-importance, they felt entitled to heckle a visiting judge because they didn't like his politics. The scourge of limitless entitlement takes us down avenues of limitless insanity. It means we have honest jobs we can't fill, but a generation of wastrels who want to be paid for posting photographs of their lunch. It leads to the ludicrous race-baiting idea that every white person should pay compensation to every black person because of the evils of history. It means we give out medals to kids who come last just because they tried. And the parents of those children then demand that they're awarded better grades, literally just because they're paid to be there. Unfortunately, the cost of living crisis is a surfeit of these people who think the world owes them a favour. But fortunately, the rest of us are also entitled to call them out for it. Well, joining me now is the Associate Editor of the Daily Mirror, Kevin Maguire, and TalkTV contributor Esther Crackwood. I'm not sure, but I think I might have started that in my jet-lagged haze, Kevin, with a slightly wrong analogy. I think I said the age of entitlement twice. Of course, I was meant to say the age of enlightenment has now become the age of entitlement. How's it got like this?
Yeah, I'm not sure it entirely has, though, Piers. I think we make progress because one generation challenges the one ahead of them. That's how it is. Now, they don't always get it right, but I'm with those girls in that school. They challenged the teacher. She lost the classroom. They wanted the teacher to address them in
They're
a
at a
different
girls'
way.
school, Kevin.
But one of them wasn't identified.
Literally, their parents have said, we want to send our little girl to a girls' school, which is called a girls' school.
Yeah,
and then when a teacher has the audacity to call them girls, they go nuts. And the teacher then eventually has to leave.
Piers, they challenge the teacher. The teacher stands on her authority and says, no, I'm doing it my way. If that teacher had spoken to them, had a
She said,
dialogue,
"Hello, girls."
understood it. Look, one of them wasn't identifying as a girl.
What
I just
if
don't
they
see what the big
identify as-
problem is.
I couldn't.
Genuinely do
in
not
that
see
case,
what the problem is.
If you don't, here's what the problem is. If you don't identify as a girl, don't go to a bloody girls' school. Esther, have I gone nuts?
But what if one of them identified as a tree? Would you say
Yes.
hello, I don't know, flora and
that
fauna?
happen?
Well, before I went away, I identified as
I went to a girls' school. and
identified
my
as a
teachers-
black lesbian, as you know, Esther, and
Yeah, I know.
your cackle went around the world.
Don't set her off again.
But this is the problem. If anyone can identify as anything they like, then this insanity just goes everywhere.
Oh, of course. But I think the bigger message that's being sent out here is that the children are ruling the classrooms, which should never be the case. And there's no point of them going to school, because part of going to school is learning discipline and respect for authority. How can you possibly bully a teacher into apologising for calling you a girl?
I'm a great believer in good discipline in schools, but that does
Well, this
not
isn't it.
mean...
Well,
that
no,
does
you're not. You're a
just
great
mean-
believer in.
No.
You're a great believer in a teacher being calling girls
how-
girls, and then you think they have the
No.
right
It's-
to launch some kind of protest.
It's how you set the rules and how you then govern that school.
Kevin, you
and
don't.
I think
Kevin,
no,
I've
I
known you a
think
long time.
kids should
you
have a
don't
say.
even. You don't believe this.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You
Look,
don't think a bunch of
Piers,
girls in a girls'
Piers,
school
a
should have the
girl-
right to drive a teacher out for
girl,
calling them girls?
no, I'm sorry the teacher has gone, but I don't believe the teachers handled it as well as they
She said,
should
"Good
have done."
afternoon, girls."
And if it's then challenged and the kids are explaining why they think they shouldn't be
The
addressed
school
that way,
is
you can
literally
accommodate them.
called
I just-
school for
I
girls.
do not see what the problem is. This is not the same as putting a biological man who is a rapist in only a way a man can in a Scottish prison. It's not that case. And what happens
Sorry,
now,
you're getting
everything
you're getting the
gets
clip.
lost.
I can't do any more of that one. This just driving me too mad. Can we at least agree about free seats for fat flyers, Esther? The idea that the more obese you get, the fatter you become, the more free seats you're entitled to on a plane. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the lady in the video who was saying it, she was probably the size of the plane that she wanted to fly. Look, the reality is, we've always seen, debates online about whether, if you need a seatbelt extension, you should really buy 2 seats because you're spilling over into the other person's seat. And airplanes are designed to basically tin you like sardines, right? So the idea that someone else should pay for the fact that she's obese is quite frankly ludicrous.